could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello everyone, today I'm meeting Jason Skeesick. He is a coach, a former US veteran, and also the founder of his own company, Spear and Clover. Hi Jason, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
Thank you. And let's start with diving into your story of becoming the person you are today. Do you remember where did it start for you? What was the major event or maybe some kind of turning point in your life where you realized this is something that you want to do? This is your calling.
Yeah, it's a good question. So for starters, Spear and Clover is a core values idea. It's a symbol that I have tattooed on my forearm if you're watching the video. And it's a spear, it's a Spartan spear and an infinite loop of rope. And what it represents is two of my core values. And that's kind of the beginning of this, is when I was a child, I was born with my first core value, which is spirit of the puppy. That's high energy, loves to meet new people, always looking for adventure, I'll learn anything about things that I'm interested in, and I just don't care about things that I'm not interested in. And so some folks call that ADD. I call it spirit of the puppy. And then when I was a young man, I enlisted in the United States Army, and that is where I found discipline. And so that is where I got my second core value, which is represented by the spear, which I call military mindset. And so it is those two things together that make me who I am. And also the people that I get along with the best typically have some similar traits to that as well. So when I got back from the military, I did two things. I started going to college for finance to become a banker, very spear. And I also started a gym, a small CrossFit gym in a dusty warehouse on the fourth floor in Chicago, very Clover. And so it wasn't until a few years later that I realized, oh, I'm up in this high rise. I'm working on a $20 million deal, a $50 million deal, but I'm really thinking about this gym, this little dusty gym with this tribe of people that we were building. It wasn't until I realized that I decided to combine those two ideas and focus all of my effort to making a real business out of the thing that I was super passionate about. And then, so since then, that was in about 2015, I would say. And since that time, I have been focused all of my attention on being an entrepreneur, first in the form of running the gym. And then I fell in love with helping other entrepreneurs to find similar success. And so now I focus 100% of my time on building a tribe of entrepreneurs to help them also experience this type of success.
Nice. And I see that those core values, they kind of shape your character and gave you advantage to, found your own company and based on that. And with a military background, like you said, discipline was an important part for you to kind of build yourself. And also with you teaching other entrepreneurs like how to build their own companies. And it also comes in very handy knowing that those are the daily habits that every one of us need to practice consistently to kind of have that type of mindset that will give us, the opportunity to move forward. And I just wanted to ask you, what are the main, I would say, daily habits that you would recommend for people to start with, especially those who are still searching for their own voice and passion, and they're not sure where to start. And maybe there is some like small steps they could incorporate in daily lives right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So for starters, if you're looking for motivation, I can't really give that to you as far as the motivation to start your own company. However, what I can advise you to do is to find something that you would be passionate about doing, even if you never made money doing it. And if you can find that, then you'll have all the motivation that you'll need. I sold 2 businesses in 2 years, in 2020 and 2021. And so I actually retired for 2022. I didn't work until November. So for a whole year, and all I did was hang out with my wife and daughter. I did jujitsu and kickboxing and went on ruck marches. And I talked to entrepreneurs on calls like this, either on podcasts or as just friends, helping them and them helping me every single day. And that's how I know that this is exactly what I should be doing. And as far as tactically, the type of habits and stuff that I think of it this way. My life is like a 3-chambered heart. I have my business chamber, I have my family and social chamber, and then I have my personal chamber. And if I take from the other 2 chambers to inflate one or the other, the heart can never grow. I have to focus on all 3 and expand them evenly. And so what I do is I schedule my week first with my family and social time, my time with my wife and daughter. If there's something that I do with other people, then for my personal care, I schedule my time at the gym. I schedule my time going on long ruck marches with my dogs. And then with what's left, that's when I fill it in with work. Because if I just left it up to me, I could work all day, every single day, and I would end up one of the many rich people I know who are very unhappy with their lives. And so I would recommend that you start by scheduling your play and your self-care and your fun and your time with family, and then fill in with work. That's why we build businesses, is to have the flexibility and freedom to do that.
Right. So you just mentioned that those 3 areas of your life, they all equally important. So you can't just say one is, more important than another, and you have to prioritize all 3 of them, and making sure that you spending enough time for it to grow, to expand. All the time you have to think about it. It's not just, it's not happening only like some events that happening, but all the
Someday never
time.
comes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and it all comes back to what is important in your life and how do you prioritize your own mental, physical health, and also relationship with others, like your significant other, your kids. And those are the areas also that will bring you the most fulfillment and happiness, and having the business that's working for you, like giving you that flexibility to allow you to spend time with people that you love. That's the best, like when you can build yourself some type of business that gives you that freedom. I think it's everybody's dream to have that enough, time for everything. And for some people, they have to choose, or they think they do, and they come up with excuses why they're not doing certain things that will, kind of like improve their relationship with others. But that's again comes back to you making those choices. It's not that somebody else doing it for you. You have to be sure that this is your life, you're in charge of it, and you have to be mindful of what choices are you making and what are your priorities. And like you said, with scheduling first the social and like private, like personal time for yourself, that comes first, and then the rest fills with work.
Yeah, I would just say that if you're listening to this, and I'm 40, I'm an old man now, but if you're listening to this and you're 24 and you think you're going to become a billionaire, and maybe you will, you never misunderstand me to think that I don't think anybody can do anything, because I know people that have done amazing things and I've seen success that I set myself out to do. But what I will tell you is, if you think you're going to make your money and fame now, if it's fame you're looking for, And then you're going to learn how to have a relationship with your family and with people in a meaningful way. And you're going to learn how to understand yourself introspectively and master your own behavior and your emotions and your life and feel happy and good about yourself. If you think you're going to learn that after you're 100 millionaire, you're crazy. It's not going to work. You need to be the person that you want to be now. Behave like the person you want to become now. And then when you get there, you'll be so good at it. It will be easy.
Definitely. And for some reason, people have that in their mind. When I get there, then I'll be happy. If I, achieve this certain type of goal, then I'll feel fulfillment. But this is not how it actually works. With you to actually get there, you have to become that person now, like you just mentioned. And it should be your priority. And again, everything else will follow as you kind of develop yourself in terms of like your character and what are your values that you're living by.
Yeah, I agree. I think action precedes emotions, right? So if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to live a certain way, just start behaving like that person that you respect who's already done it, right? So whether that's The Rock or Grant Cardone or Joe Rogan or I don't know, Beyonce or something, like just look at what they did to get where they are and then ask yourself a question. Am I doing the things that they did to get where they are? And if I'm not, I can't expect that I will one day be like them. And I think a lot of times we make these excuses for ourselves because it actually is easier to just not do it, to tell ourselves the lies and the stories that we didn't do it because we chose not to do it, or we didn't do it because Sally stood in my way, or we didn't do it because of where we came from or how we look. And the reality is there are people from everywhere who become great people. Let's just say, I don't know if they all necessarily make a ton of money necessarily, but there are great people everywhere you go. I've traveled all over the world, and something tells me you've traveled a little bit too. And I have
I do.
And I've met wonderful people in small villages. I've met wonderful people in New York City. I've met wonderful people in Iraq. I've met people all over the world who were living very good lives that were very, very happy. And you know what else? I've met a lot of people with a lot of money who were not happy and didn't have good relationships and didn't understand their own motivations as human beings. And I think that, that's not going to solve any problems. I think start now and you'll be a lot happier.
Right. And we should also know that it takes time. You can't expect it to come to you overnight. So again, like be compassionate with yourself, give yourself time, but also know that you have to do some actions every single day towards where you're going, even though you're not going to jump right away, but with you just walking, jogging, and then like taking more pace into that journey of yours, then you will see like how you will get different kind of opportunities coming your way. So discipline, that's where it becomes important, because every day it's not possible for every one of us like to feel happy, glad, joyful. So we sometimes feel down, and especially in those days where we don't feel good, if we don't have discipline, it's easy for us to just set back or again, come up with the other excuses. But if no matter what, I'm just going to do it because it's on my schedule, because I'm committed to it. This is where it becomes kind of like an engine that's working on the background and pushing you forward.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I would even say for me, one of the things that I've found personally, and I don't think this is for everybody, but for me, I am much more motivated to execute for you than I am for me. And so if I hold myself accountable to my clients, or if I hold myself accountable to my employees, or if I hold myself accountable to my wife or to my daughter or my training partner at the gym, then I'm going to show up 10 times more than if I just say, I'm going to do what I want when I want. And so by saying, hey, Anna, I'd love to help you with your social media, let's just say, hypothetically, I'm going to show up for you. Whereas if it was me doing my own social media, I will do it. I'm excited about it, but I may put it off for a day or maybe two. But if I told you I'll be there on Monday at 9 a.m., I'm there Monday at 9 a.m. And so for me, that is military mindset, but it's also something that I think is common in people. And so try to have accountability outside of yourself, whether you're trying to lose weight. I mean, I ran a gym for many years. I can tell you about the value of accountability there, or whether it's you're just trying to, grow as a human being or as a professional. By having external accountability to others from others, you're going to get a lot further than if you just try to keep it all in your head.
Yeah, we should know also that it's not just for us. Other people are counting on us.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to show up for themselves too, and with us, kind of honoring that, knowing that no matter what, I will be there. It shows again, how dedicated are you to really get what you want in life. And knowing that it will take time, you should not be discouraged with not getting everything right away, but being committed to the long, haul of the game that you are playing. And I know that your company helping other entrepreneurs, and you call yourself evangelist. And why is that so?
Yeah, I have two things. So I call myself the entrepreneurial evangelist, and that's because it's a bad idea to talk to me if you don't want to start a company. I always the thing I do is when I meet somebody and they are excited about an idea, I'm just so good at getting them to quit their job and start a business. So I have to tell my wife when we go to parties in town here, I'll be like, I'm not gonna ruin anybody's life today. I'm not going to make them quit their accounting job to go start their t-shirt company or whatever. But you said something earlier that I want to go back to. You said something about getting what you want. And I think one of the problems that people have is they actually don't know what they want because they don't think about it. And so if you ask somebody, actually, hey, what do you want? They might tell you, I want to make $1 million a year. I want to live in a huge house. I want to have these cars and I want to do what I want when I want. That sounds great, Anna. And there are men and women out there who do those things, but it's not specific and it feels unattainable. And so what I would say is, if you're listening to this right now, ask yourself, do I actually have a goal that I know specifically and deliberately and with detail that I believe that I could actually achieve? Because I think for me to say I want to be a Hall of Fame football quarterback and win an Oscar for being the best actor next year, and I've never played football, I have, and this person's never played football and they've never acted, nor do they want to. Well, now it's easy for me to say, well, I didn't do that. That was just me talking. Whereas if I said personally, I'd like to make 50% more money this year than I did last year. I'd like to buy that type of car. I'd like to take my wife on these vacations. And here's exactly what we're going to do to get there. Well, guess what? You can actually achieve those goals. And so, and I've done those things kind of year after year once I learned how to set goals that were actually attainable and very specific. If you want to climb a mountain, you need to know what the top of the mountain would look like, why it's important to you to get there, and exactly what it's going to take to make it to the top.
Yeah, with us having specific attainable goals is important because like you said, if we're just wishing to get something, but we know deep down, we don't believe we're going to get there.
Yeah.
So there is no reason even for you talking about it. You have to be clear on what you want, how you want it, when you want it, how it's going to look like. And with you knowing that you can get there, let's say in a year or 2 years from today, what are the simple steps that you can take today towards that goal? And it's just matter of you breaking everything down in the small little steps. That's all. That's and again, believing in yourself, having that self-confidence that you can achieve it. You can. If there is one person that did what you're trying to do, it means it's possible. You can't say that that person could be I don't know, some kind of special personality or something, anything that you can say, it's not relevant, because if that person achieved it, that means you can do it too. So again, having that clear, specific goal in mind with all details and like description of that goal or opportunity that you want to get, it all like it's just beneficial for you to have that vision in front of you and knowing that now I'm taking a specific step towards my goal. And I know it's just in a year from today, I will be in a different place.
Yeah, I mean that, and you've seen it over and over again. I think the worst thing that can happen is when people do get lucky, because if those people get lucky, how are they going to keep it going? I think that for the most part, it's those people who set and achieve goals deliberately that actually are the person who can energize and live the life that they want. And I just think we've seen that over and over again. People want to lose 5 pounds a week, but if you just lost 1 pound a week, you could lose 50 pounds this year. I mean, that's how it works, and if people want to make $1 million in a year, well, if you made 40 last year, try to make 40, try to make 52 this year, like make incremental change, and you'll be surprised at how much quicker you get things done than you think. It looks like we might hit our annual goal by June this year, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, sometimes something even like better comes what you expected, but at least knowing that minimal that you can get to, and again, sometimes it just comes down to math. Like you said, I need like 20 more percent, 50 more percent. You can calculate all of that and what it requires from you to put on those numbers and to get in the end that result. And we overwhelm ourselves with like something, that's maybe unattainable in our mind. But again, like that small incremental change, that's where it starts. And it just rolls up on that. You never know, like sometimes you think you're going to achieve 50 more percent, but in the end, maybe you can get 100%. But before you start doing it, you would never know, like you can find out more answers. Sometimes it becomes clear once you go alone, like once you meet maybe some people that never showed up before, or other opportunities can just come to your way. But again, like in the beginning, it should come from you, your intention, your goal, and your kind of like motivation towards achieving that goal, and knowing that I'm going to do it, no matter what. I have that discipline in mind. I have everything, kind of like lined up for me, and I'm just following my path. But I'm also open for other opportunities as well. I'm not fixated. I'm like flexible.
Yeah, my friend Dave Galbensky wrote a book called The Corridor of Opportunity. And I think that's such a beautiful metaphor for what you just said. Is he said, once you set your sights at your goal, which is maybe at the end of a hallway, and you start walking down that hallway towards it, you'll be surprised that there are opportunities on your left and right that you never saw coming. And so he talks about entering the corridor of opportunity. But what you can't do is stay right where you're at, because you'll never get to where you're going, and you'll never even see those other side passages of opportunity that would otherwise have presented themselves to you. And I just think that's such a beautiful metaphor that I've carried with me since I heard it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful metaphor. And I feel like a lot of people would just take away a lot of, important messages from it, and really start thinking about how we are planning our life, because we are the creators of our life. Yeah. We're in charge, and we can't just, maybe some people want to just live by default. I'm not sure. But if you really like have a goal in mind, if you have that, kind of dream that you want to achieve, again, like everything starts with small little steps, with you knowing what you want and having clear understanding of how to get there.
Yeah. One thing I would say about that is, listen, even if you don't want to be a billionaire, which I don't, you're writing your own book right now. Everybody listening to this is writing a book, and it just seems like such a waste to be a second or third character in your own book. And so there are many wonderful books. Siddhartha, great book. It's not about a rich man. You know what I mean? So you can have a wonderful and exciting and thrilling book about relationships or skills or adventure or financial success, whatever it may be. But certainly, if you're listening to this right now and you feel like you're the second or third or maybe fourth character in your own book, you should give that some thought, because ultimately you're the only person who can write your book. So you may as well be the star of it.
Yeah, and that's what it should be. Let's be stars of our own books and always play first role.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, let's just leave it with that. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and wisdom. And I hope people will find it beneficial. I'll put the description episode, the links to your website if they want to check it out. And so much important information. Thank you again. And I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you, Anna. This has been wonderful. And if you're still listening, it's because you like Anna and what she's doing. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with a friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Stay tuned.